Hi, this is Max from Sand and Steel Fitness. Today we're going to look at a video demonstrating how we interpret the results of the functional movement screen and Y balance test and how we determine the appropriate course of action with corrective exercise. First, let's look at the first assessment with ankle mobility. While performing the test, the client was unable to hit the depth in the squat without support of the ankles on the FMS board. As we look at the hurdle step test, we do see an issue with the right hip having less motor control than the left. The shoulder mobility showed lack of flexibility and range of motion in both arms. As we observe the rotary stability, we can also see an issue with motor control from the right hip and the transverse abdominis. This correlates with previous testing in the hurdle step test. As we look at the results of the ankle clearance assessment, we can see poor range of motion on both feet with a significant asymmetry on the right side. The lack of mobility in this joint is undoubtedly the source of the asymmetries with the right hip and stabilization. As we look at the Y balance test, we see a similar imbalance pertaining to the right hip, particularly in the post-medial position. Requires a large amount of motor control and stability in the ankle and hip. As we look at the upper quadrant of the Y balance test, we see less variation between the right arm and the left arm. Both arms would benefit from mobility as seen in the FMS shoulder mobility screen. The external rotation of both arms is very limited. Based on the analysis of both tests, we can determine that both ankles show a significant lack of range of motion. The imbalance in the hips are a result of the lack of mobility of the right ankle. The range of motion in the shoulders would be the next pattern to attend to. We then determine that static calf stretching, banded ankle distraction would be the two first corrective exercises to improve normal resting lengths of the muscles for the ankle and also improve. We would then want to work on the hip flexor and transverse abdominis on the right side. For that, we have chosen a plank with a Cybex resisted hip flexion. We would then move on to a static chop and lift, which works hip stability and transverse abdominis, as well as the inline halo lunge. We would also administer the banded W's to improve external rotation and strengthen that position.